Hello, people that are going to be helping me assemble the masks. So here's the mask. You might not have the filter, but preparation is still the same anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with these. Normally they're like this, and if you have the metal, just cut right at the metal here. If you don't, just cut anywhere. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by stringing this through the hole. And if this is difficult, you might need to use a pair of forceps or a small pair of scissors to help. So I've got forceps here. And what we're going to do is just pull it through, and what's nice about the metal is that we don't have to tie a knot here, but if you don't have the piece of metal, you are going to have to tie the knot. Tie an overhand knot, which I'm going to show you how to do in just a second. So this side is going to be a little more difficult. Might have to just cut it a little bit short here to get rid of the frayed edge. So that I have. So this is pretty difficult. There we go. So here's how we tie an overhand knot. We just make a loop and we stick it through. It's probably the most basic knot. But before we tighten it, we just want to make sure it's as close to the edge of this string as we can. And that's about as close as I can get it. So you just want to pull, make sure it's sturdy. And you see how we're tying them like this, even though most surgical masks will go like this around your ear, we actually go around the head. So the bottom is a little bit, it's easier to thread through, but since the hole is bigger, you're probably going to have to tie a knot. So as you can see, this just slips straight through. So, you'll try that again. So we're also going to have to tie a knot on the metal side. Okay, pull, make sure it stays, that's good. Bring it to the other side, thread it through, and we'll see if one overhand knot works. I always just I would recommend just trying two, because this side doesn't have the metal to help and it's on a big hole. So pull it, make sure it works. We're good. So the second step is, because obviously when you put your face up into this, it's not going to create seal. So what we have is this material here called weather seal, which is basically you put it around doors. And what we're going to do is we're going to peel away some of this to reveal the sticky part. And as you can see, the sticky ends a little bit early, a little bit before the edge, so that not sticky edge can actually pop up above the edge of the mask. I'll show you. And as you can see, from my last time, I didn't make a very clean cut, so I'll use my little pair of scissors. We want to make that clean. So we're going to start from the bottom edge here, like this, and push it down as we run our way around the mask. And so once we reach the bridge, which is this part where the bridge of your nose would be, you don't want to push it in, you want to crimp it first. So we can see this is where it's going to go. We're just going to crimp it with our fingers, and then we can do that. So we just push that in there, like that. Gonna keep going. And probably the most important thing here is to make a seal, you want to make sure that it's continuous. So if you have to make like multiple cuts in here, that's not good. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut it a little bit longer than we think we need it, just so that if we're wrong, it's a lot easier to fix than having to add another piece in there. So judging on this, it's probably going to be right here, so we just haven't pushed it down yet. So we're going to do it a little bit, so it's right here. Do it a little bit closer. A little bit further than that, make it a little bit longer. That. So, as you can tell, that's way too long. So we're going to cut it down. That. And then you just kind of want to rearrange it so that it looks continuous as much as you can. And then we are done with assembling the mask. And as you can see, if there's a sharp curve, this weather seal does kind of form these crimps, but that's okay. Thank you for helping me out, and thank you for watching. So another thing we need to do is, because this seal isn't good enough, we're also going to add a little bit more of the weather seal inside. So you can measure about 1 inch worth of this stuff. So I have 1.5 inches here, so we're just going to cut it here. So almost like half of what I have in my hand. Like that. And we've discovered that the small piece doesn't really stick to the mask that well, but it does stick pretty well to itself. So when you do this, you want to have the adhesive facing almost upwards like this, not against the plastic, but up like that. So here, you're just going to press it down. And if you find that the elastic gets in your way as you're putting on the weather seal, you can put on the weather seal first before you do the rope elastic stuff. Thank you.